Hello, YouTube. Good morning. Happy Sunday morning to all of you out there in YouTube land. I am your host, Crossdeck Arcade. Go by Pete from my real name. It's a beautiful day here in southeastern Wisconsin. The sun is out. It's been warm the last couple of days. It's going to be warm tomorrow. Probably tomorrow is going to be our warmest day. It's going to be in the mid 50s. We may even top 60 tomorrow. So we're saying bye-bye to all the snow that's been on the ground, and that's a good thing. Might be a snowstorm later in the week. Don't know. It's too early to tell right now. You know how weather people are. Could turn out to be just rain. Could turn out to be 16 inches. Who knows? Anyway, it's Daytona, guys. See, I'm honoring the late, great Dale Earnhardt. As some of you might know, this is the 25th anniversary of the passing of Dale Earnhardt at the, I mean, it's not the exact day. I believe it was the 20th that was the date that of the race that he passed away in. But yes, 25 years ago is the race that we lost the late great Dale Earnhardt. I've owned this for over 20 years, this jacket, and it's showing its age. It needs a good cleaning, really. But I've owned it for like 23, 24 years. I got it shortly after he passed away. I thought, I'm going to get one because I like the jacket. It's really cool. I never was a big fan of Dale Earnhardt, but I appreciated and understood his driving style. And so my hat's off to all the Dale Earnhardt fans throughout the years that have stuck with the Earnhardts through thick and thin. And I know that was a devastating day for those. I'm more of a Rusty Wallace guy and Mark Martin. Those are my two drivers. Both are retired, of course, but you know. So yes, so the Daytona 500 on Fox today. They've moved up the start because there's a threat of inclement weather down there. So this is going to be a short show because I have some things I want to do. I want to get a sub. I want to get some chips. And I want to have my butt firmly in the chair for the start. And the start has been moved up to 12:30 Central Time, 1:30 Eastern, and it's on Fox. So I'm going to let everybody go a little early. Hopefully we'll keep this to around an hour-ish, maybe even shorter than that, because I really don't have much to do today. I'm not going to do any builds or mods today. Didn't really have anything prepped. And to be honest, I was just flat out lazy today. I didn't feel like setting up my table and lights and everything. But we do have something to talk about, right? I mean, we got some news yesterday. I'm going to take this jacket off because I'm starting to burn up. We got some news yesterday from ToyFair about Arcade1Up / Basic Fun, or Basic Fun / Arcade1Up, however they're referring to themselves these days. I feel like they need to get some brand consistency. What are they calling themselves with these things now? Are they Basic Fun or are they Arcade1Up? So I'm going to give you my take. I've had 24 hours to think about it. I have not watched any content creators. There's probably been about 50 that have thrown out videos. Some of you have seen them. The only content I watched was I'm not getting any of the chat. So if you guys are chatting, I'm not seeing it. I hope we're okay here. I'm going to pull up the stream on YouTube and make sure everything's okay. Mm-mm-mm. View my channel. Let's look at the live stream. Yeah, I'm on there. There's the chat. See, I'm not seeing the chat in Restream. Ugh. Freaking technology. I don't know why. Restream is failing me today. So everybody's in the chat. So I've had to pull up my YouTube channel just to see the chat. We'll say hi to everybody here in a second. But yes, we did get some news. Where was I? I think I was talking about the only stream I saw yesterday. I actually watched it this morning during my workout. Was Danny's stream, and of course he went live at 9 a.m. today while I was out to breakfast with the gal after our. Hang on, I'm getting feedback from my own stream. Can hear it through my headset down there. Yeah, my gal and I were out to breakfast, and I saw I got a notification that Danny went live, and I'm like, "Oh, what's this? Did we finally get an announcement?" So I'm at breakfast, and of course, I don't want to ignore my gal, so I've got the phone off to the side here, and I have the audio down, of course, because we're in a public setting, and I was reading through the chat and catching some notes and even chiming in once in a while, and yeah, the general consensus seems to be disappointment about what took place yesterday. So we'll get into that. Let's say hi to people in the chat. There's probably going to be a bit of a delay. Israel game. Since I'm not seeing the chat and restream, I'm not going to be able to pop up chats on screen. I don't know why I'm having this issue. I don't think there's anything I can do. Nope, that's not working. All right, so I'll just read through the chat off of my webpage or off my YouTube page. Israel Gaming's here. Good to see you. Thumper Squid. Good to see you, buddy. Hockey Town Arcade is here. Hope you're doing good. Israel Gaming. I already said hi. Stock Jock is here. Stock Jock, I did take note of your comments in Cornercade stream yesterday. We are on the same page. Ted Adam Green is here. Good to see you. Let's see. Everybody's asking for Sony's here. Sony 4K. He's asking for a pre-order. I'm pretty sure that's sarcasm based on the commentary I've seen you give in Cornercade's video. Prince Vinny is here. Good to see you. I'm doing well. Side note about that. Last week I was a prick. Okay. I'm just going to say it straight up. I had a miserable weekend last weekend, and I did stream live once when I was in that kind of a mood, and watching it back, I don't remember which one it is, but I made a vow after I did that stream, I would never stream when I'm in a crappy mood. And I'm not one of those people that can put on a happy face and just go. My ex-wife was like that. No matter what hit her, if we needed to be somewhere in 5 minutes, she could be like a wet mess from crying and turn it off and be like the happiest gal 5 minutes later. It was amazing to watch. But that's not me. I was having back issues. You all notice I'm standing up again today, so I'm not sitting down. It's not bad. I'm doing the thing. I'm trying to do the things that keep me feeling better. So standing up actually helps me. Sitting down, which is what I'm going to be doing a lot of later, is watching the NASCAR race. Is it's detrimental to the state of my back. So I'm going to be trying to get up as much as possible and moving around. Hard to do when you have a cat that likes or considers your lap to be her permanent bed. So, but anyway, yeah, I'm sorry I wasn't here last week. Again, pissy mood, wasn't feeling the greatest. And so, yeah, I'm just know that if that happens in the future, I'm not going to stream. It's just a rule I have. Where was I? Let's see. Stock Jock says he's hitting 80 down there. Here's a side note about that. Big news in the 2 weeks since we've last met. I made a decision about my retirement date. I sat down, I ran through the numbers, all the numbers about my retirement. And Excel was involved. I was doing Excel spreadsheets. And I came to the conclusion that I'm in good shape. So I informed my boss last week, and I informed my team that January of 2028 is my target retirement date. So the end is in sight now. So it's something to look forward to. As some of you know, my intent is to move down to Florida. I don't know how soon that's going to happen, but we need to start looking at places. The general area I want to settle in is the Tampa area, the Fort Myers area. That's what we're looking at. So if you guys know of any good people to talk to for communities, I'm probably leaning towards a condo/retirement community in that area, that general southeast or southwestern part of Florida, Gulf side. That's what we're going to do. And so, yeah, that was a big decision coming to that decision. Because before a couple weeks ago, I had no clue when I was going to retire. I was thinking I was going to work till I was 65, 67. But I decided after watching some content this week, I said, I'm going to get out of here as soon as I can. I want to be a happy guy. So that's what we're going to do. So retirement's coming. Biggie D is here. Good to see you. Sorsega is here. Again, folks, I cannot put the chat on screen because Restream is being an absolute prick today. Sorry about that. Stock Shock is talking about Stock Shock. You had a comment about favorite drivers. Yeah. Again, so we're on the same page there. I don't know. Rusty Wallace, and those of you that are familiar with Rusty Wallace and his Penske team, he had a car called Midnight that just dominated 2 years in a row at major tracks, and that car was just awesome. He could, and it was even featured in a commercial for Miller. Midnight was, and so yeah, Rusty Wallace. I actually met the guy, both him and his brother Kenny here in Wisconsin when they both came up to race in Busch Series at the Milwaukee Mile, and that was many years ago. But I did get to meet them. They headed over to a famous local racing bar, and just to hang out. And I actually got him to sign a book, the book that he had put together. So that's a cherished possession of mine, an autographed Rusty Wallace book. And so yeah, two of my favorite drivers. If I'm looking off to the side here, it's because I'm reading the chat. So Israel says his favorite is Jeff Gordon. Understandable. I'm from Indiana. Jeff Gordon is huge in Indiana. He born and raised in California. Born in California, they moved around. So I know they came to Indiana to do sprints, and most of his teenage life, I think, was spent, and adult life was spent. Early adult life was spent in Indiana. But yeah, Jeff Gordon is big in Indiana. Biggie D says spring training starting. Yep, pitchers and catchers reported. Was it last week or the week before? Yeah. Stock Jock commenting on my shirt. Yeah, I haven't worn this in a while. I will be wearing it that Saturday that I'm at the Midwest Gaming Convention. So Those of you attending, just look for me in this shirt. I'm easy to see, and it says this on the back. Quarterdeck 71, so you'll know it's me. And I'm only planning going on the Saturday. Guys, it's downtown Milwaukee is like 45 minutes from where I live. So I have to make that commute 3 times a week because my job is actually right up the street from the convention center. So yeah. Supper Squid says Ricky Bobby was his favorite. That was an okay movie. B. Kirby is here. Good to see you. Mike Hawkhurst is here as well. Mike Hawkhurst says that Arcade1Up was the sign above the booth at ToyFair. It seems like they are branding some products as arcade classics, some as Arcade1Up, and both under the Basic Fun company label. So if I had to be a guessing man, I would say that Basic Fun is replacing Tastemakers, basically. Am I far off on that? That sounds like what it basically is. Let's see. Vic Vicious is here. Good to see you. We're going to talk about the doings yesterday in ToyFair. I'll give you my 2 cents. I'm just catching up with the chat. Good to know Vic Vicious. He's telling me that his ex-mother-in-law works real estate in Fort Myers. Yeah, by the time I retire, I'll have almost 36 years in at the place that I'm currently working. So yeah, I've worked a lot of years, well over half my life there. So let's see. The gal wants to move to Florida, Biggie D. That's why we're not looking at Arizona. Yeah, Prince Finney, we're trying to make some moves now. We're gonna take a couple of trips down to Florida, scout the area. Let's see. And Stock Jock says, I'm way too young to live in Fort Myers. Well, that's just what we're looking at, right? I'm not stuck on Fort Myers. That's the general area, that whole Tampa, Fort Myers, that corner of the state. I'm not locked into living there, but I don't want to break the bank either. So, all right, I think I've caught up with the chat. Okay. Let's take a look at the Quarterdeck Arcade. Same old camera views. Nothing's really changed in here. I am getting the arcade shuffle vibes. I don't like this row right here. I'm waiting. The only thing I have coming in is the GRSFU, and that's obviously going to go right over here somewhere when it comes in. But no major changes. I did have some incidents of artwork falling off the wall. You may see on the back wall over there, the ghosts are gone. I had the ghosts up there, but the ghosts fell off because the amount of tape that I used to mount them onto the concrete didn't hold them. But Pac-Man is up there, but Pac-Man doesn't weigh as much as the ghosts do, and so now I got to redo that whole section. I don't know if I liked it the way I did it anyway. So we'll see. So Pac-Man's all alone up the wall there, other than the other LED artwork. But the arcade is it's been a kind of, for the last 2 weeks, it's been like a breath of fresh air. I've played a lot down here actually, and I've done a lot of VR too. I'm guys. I discovered Beat Saber on the MetaQuest. Now I realize Beat Saber runs on other platforms, but MetaQuest is the one that I chose to use it, and I've been having complete fun with that game. I bought the Metallica library, I bought the Queen library, and I bought I bought the Rolling Stone. As you can tell, I'm big into rock, and I bought a rock compilation library. So I bought 4 libraries on top of the ones you get. But I've really been getting into Beat Saber, and so I've spent a lot of time in VR the last week, and I've actually added Beat Saber and a part of my workout routine. So, because you get a good workout when you're doing Beat Saber, and it all depends on how you set it up, how fast you want the song to play or that kind of thing. And right now I'm stuck at easy. I'm being 60, my brain doesn't work as fast as a lot of these kids. I've seen videos on Facebook. Some of these kids are whacking those blocks in Beat Saber like there's no way I could work at that level. My brain could work at that level. And so I give them kudos, but I'm stuck at easy. I've tried normal a couple of times and had a little bit of difficulty with it. But I highly recommend Beat Saber. It's a fun game, and it actually burns calories, folks. 1 hour, you can burn 300 calories. Just saying, that's a slice of pizza, really. I mean, so 1 hour working Beat Saber, you can burn off 1 slice of pizza. And it's worth it, okay? Because my workouts are cumulative. I do some cardio on usually the treadmill, and I do some weight work. And if I want to go into a calorie deficit and I'm not quite there, I'll add Beat Saber to the end of my workout and just because it's fun. It's something fun that I can do to help lose weight. So I discovered Beat Saber the last 2 weeks, and it's been a lot of fun. Israel says he has it for the PS2. Yeah, I knew they had it for other platforms. I don't know off the top of my head what they are. Vic Fisher says he's going to see AC/DC. Yes, I would love to see them live. I kind of think they're coming up here to Wisconsin at some point, which reminds me, I got to buy tickets for the gal. Her birthday is in August, and she wants to go see Five Finger Death Punch. They're coming here. And it's been a couple of years since we've been to a concert. Last concert we actually went to was Metallica up in Minneapolis. Awesome concert, guys. If you're into rock, especially metal, go see Metallica on tour. Their latest version of their tour is just freaking awesome. Let's see. Just checking up with the chat. Mike Cockert says Beat Saber is more of a Miami kind of game. Depends on what music you choose, really. I put in a comment on the Beat Saber Facebook page. I said, I would love to see a movie soundtrack, Beat Saber library. Can you imagine doing Beat Saber to like Raiders of the Lost Ark theme or Star Wars theme? Some of the more aggressive themes contained within Star Wars. Like, oh my gosh, if they could get Battle of the Heroes into from Star Wars, from Revenge of the Sith. Oh my God, that would just be awesome. I mean, it's Beat Saber for crying out loud. Why don't they have any Star Wars music in there? Yeah, Hockey Town. Regarding Metallica residency, I heard that. The gal and I are in early discussions about making a trip out there to see them. Since even though we saw them a couple of years ago, she's huge in Metallica. That's why I have a Metallica skinned At Games HD right to my right here. So, okay, let's start the topic at hand. Yeah, Duel of the Fates. That would be awesome in Beat Saber. Oh gosh, where do I start on this? I've had 24 hours to stew this over. And again, I've not watched anything other than what Cornercade did yesterday morning live. So I've not watched Michael B's. I've not watched James Hayes Everything. I've not watched some of the other content creators that have chimed in on this. I don't know their opinions. So saying that I've had 24 hours to think about this. Yesterday I was pretty peeved. The initial reaction was, who the hell asked for this? Yes, we did ask for a powder blue Miss Pac-Man, an accurate Miss Pac-Man, and I'll touch on that in a second. But the Sonic, I just don't get it. Well, yesterday I didn't get it. Now I kind of do, because I thought about it. And I talked it over with my gal a little bit yesterday, who's not into the arcade scene, but she kind of, from a more of a consumer, gave me a more of a consumer perspective on the whole thing. I have 0 nostalgia for Sonic the Hedgehog. I skew older, so I'm in for a 70s, early 80s arcade cabinets. That isn't to say there aren't people out there that don't have a lot of love for Sonic and are may be excited about this. But if you consider the arcade community, just the arcade community, nobody in the arcade community, except maybe a handful of people, are really excited about this cabinet. So having said that, I'm not excited about it. It's not something I'm going to purchase. Having said that, here's my take on it now, 24 hours later. You recently had Basic Fun buy Arcade1Up, right? So, okay, now they've got all these assets that they acquired. Now they're thinking, okay, out of the gate, what can we do to earn as much money as possible, so to get ourselves in a healthy position so that we can offer something else down the line. So my thinking is, their board or their staff or whoever got together and said, we need to come out of the gate with something that will sell. And guys, when I say that, I believe Sonic will sell. I do. You got to look at it's a Supreme, right? So Supremes are probably going to be in one or the other big box stores, Sam's Club or Costco. People walking by the Sonic with their kids the kids are going to go nuts for that Sonic, and the parents are going to take a hard look whether or not they want to add that to their house. If their kid says they'll play it like crazy, I just think it's going to do well with families walking through Sam's Club or Costco. It's not going to do good in the home arcade community. It's just not. Most everybody in the arcade community that are also console gamers only know that game from the consoles. Yes, I understand there was an arcade version of Sonic. My understanding was that it was a Japan unit. That's neither here nor there. The bottom line is, I think that my opinion is that Basic Fun / Arcade1Up wanted to come out of the gate with a strong selling product, and the properties that they had, Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, and Sonic, they really believe that Sonic will sell, and I do too. Just not to me, okay? I'm not here to buy that. But for families, for the general public, I think Sonic will do well. I think it'll raise them some money so that they can turn that capital around and invest in other properties, some of which may be for us, some of which may be for families walking through Costco or Sam's Club. Am I right about that? Do you think I'm far off with that? Let me know. I just feel that 24 hours later, having stewed over this, yeah, I'm cringing at their decision as from an arcade hobbyist. From a person who experienced 80s arcades, yes, I'm disappointed. I already have a Pac-Man. Don't need the Pac-Man. The Let's talk about the powder blue Miss Pac-Man now. Um, I saw it. I brought pictures. You put my mug back on the screen here. Let's see. Let's share. I don't know which one it is. Oh, there it is. So you've all seen these pictures. Before I jump into Miss Pac-Man, just doesn't look like a bad cab. Again, we're not getting a total view of it, but it doesn't look like a bad cab. The marquee doesn't appear to be lit, but it looks good. From an artwork design, I can't fault it, but it's just not for me. Going back to the Miss Pac-Man, I'm kind of excited about this, but here's the thing: I kind of want it in a deluxe slash ultra, not a XL slash supreme. I know there's people out there that are going to say, "No, we need the XL," and I'm told this is an XL that we see here on screen, but yeah, it says supreme right there. I kind of want this in an ultra, so I hope they do one in an ultra with, and I hope they put the coin door in there. But if they don't, if it doesn't have the coin door, I can fix that. But so my plan is when this comes out, if I may still get it if they don't do the ultra version of it. If they do the ultra, I'm going to get the ultra, but because it just fits my arcade. Okay. I appreciate the XL slash Supreme design. And I appreciate there's a lot of people out there, especially Danny, that want the XL. But I would prefer to have the Ultra. Now behind me here, I have the class of 81. You can see the Miss Pac-Man artwork here of the side of that class of 81. My plan would be to sell that cabinet, class of 81, get it out of here, and replace it with this blue Miss Pac-Man, because I already have a Galaga. I have the Galaga Deluxe right here. So that's my plan. So the Miss Pac-Man, I'm kind of enthusiastic about. We'll wait and see, and see what the monitor's like. Hopefully it's a BOE. But it looks beautiful. I've always wanted a powder blue Miss Pac-Man. So yeah. Let's check in with the chat. Obviously, I'm crippled today because Restream's not showing me the chat. Let's see. Israel says nobody wanted or even asked for Sonic. It's meant to be played on original Sega Genesis hardware. Same game live as My Arcade Sonic Mighty player, except no Sonic Spinball. I have no idea what. I did see the game list that was shown on some video, and some folks are commenting that that's all console games. So I am kind of disappointed. If there is an arcade ROM out there, why they didn't throw that on there as well. Thank you, Ted Adam Green. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to retirement. I'm tired of making the 1 hour commute every day to and from. So 1 hour there, 1 hour back. It's just getting old. And again, I chose to live where I live. I chose to live that far away from my job, but And working from home 2 days a week does help, but it's just getting old. B. Kirby says Sonic is going to sell. I kind of agree. Having thought about it for 24 hours, I'm like, yeah, I can see why they chose an IP that probably will do well. It's not going to do well with us. Okay. You got to realize the home arcade community, the people that build arcades like this, we're like a fraction of the percentage of people out there that are buying these products. Okay. So they're targeting other people, not just us. And so I can appreciate them as a company wanting to do well by their investors to go after IPs that will sell and make them money. I can't fault them for that. Now, from a home arcade collector, I can fault them and say that's not what I want. So that's my right, right? So everybody's right in this home arcade community, and I'm sure they're listening. I know Arcade1Up was in Corner Cage chat yesterday briefly, so they're aware that the home arcade community is not happy. So will they throw us a bone? What we need to do is wait for the second wave of cabinets, announced cabinets. Let's see if we get what we're looking for, something new in the retro arcade genre that makes us happy. And not everybody's going to be happy because let's say they do a dark stalkers or a ghost and goblins or something. Those games I have no nostalgia for. So, but I will appreciate the fact that they chose games more from the retro genre than what they did with Sonic. So that I kind of probably chose bad examples there, but I think you guys get the gist of what I mean. So let's see what they do in the second wave. Miss Pac-Man, I'm excited about. I'll probably pick that up, especially if it's an Ultra. And but Pac-Man I don't need, and the Sonic definitely I don't need. So let's see. Sonic's going to sell like hotcakes. Meatball thinks that they're going to clearance. Yes, well, I'm sure that if they go being Supremes and XLs, if they go to one of the bulks or the warehouse stores, I'm sure they will at some point clearance them. And if they did clearance them, I might consider picking that cabinet up because I could turn it into something else. I think that's what a lot of people in our community are talking about doing. Vic Vicious says he's going to buy it for his kids. That's good of you. Israel Gaming says it should have been a Golden Axe. If Sega were going to release something, it should have been a Golden Axe. Well, this is clear. It's clear to me just by reading my chat that people have strong feelings either way about this. Stan ZB, by the way, welcome to the channel. It says he has 10-year-old boys and they would rather play Roblox or Fortnite. So parents are not dropping $600 on an XL Sonic. Would it probably be parents that where Sonic was big in their household? B. Kirby says they always sell out in Chicago. They kind of do here in Wisconsin too, and at least in my area. I don't think any, like even the Pac-Man Neon, which in some areas they still had a pallet left, and they wound up clearancing them. They're all gone up here in southeastern Wisconsin. There's no way I could have picked up I kind of wanted that Pac-Man Neon, just because of the way it looked. I realize I have like 10 versions of ways to play Pac-Man, but I would have stuck it over here, and I have black lighting. It would have looked cool. Again, I cannot display these chat messages because Restream is being pricked. So sorry about that, guys. B. Kirby agrees with me about needing capital to invest in more niche titles. I'd like to see them do a Gorf, but that's never happening. I tried to convince Quarter Arcades to do a Gorf, and they're like, "What's Gorf?" Apparently, Gorf never made it over to the UK. I mean, it was there, but it was few and far between. So Gorf didn't really. Gorf was more of a US thing than it was a Europe thing. Oh, Prince Vinny. No, I'm not going to do the Danny thing and get rid of all of my deluxes to get XL. No, I like the deluxes / ultras. I like that size. For me, that works. Oh gosh, I caught up with the chat. I thought I was way behind. A lot of discussion about Sonic. So bottom line, 24 hours. I was pissed yesterday at 9 a.m. I really was. I was like, oh, come on, guys. You guys know, you guys have been in our streams and you've a lot of content, maybe not mine, but you've been in a lot of the streams out there and you know what people are thinking. At least I hope you do in our community. But so that's the way, that was my mindset yesterday during that live stream. And 24 hours later, after thinking about it, talking with my gal about it, and she's pointing out, they're not going after you guys right now. They're going after a buck so they can turn around and then go after you guys. Makes sense to me. She's a smart cookie. That's why she's in my life. So anyway, she laughs at me every time I add something to the arcade. We had a box on the porch, and we had a box on the porch yesterday. I went to go get it, and she goes, "What did you buy now?" I said, "Oh, it's for you." It's not for me. I got nothing coming. Well, check that. We all know Team Encoder is coming out with his mod for the Arcade1Up pinballs. I did order the hat that he's coming out with, and I did buy an Orange Pi 5. It cost me a pretty penny to get that. Boy, prices of pies now. I need to make a trip to Chicago down to Micro Center because we don't have one up here in Wisconsin. I need to make a trip down there because they have the pies down there went up a little bit, but they're not the ridiculous prices you see on Amazon right now. So I do need to make a drive down there because then I could go to White Castle again. Guys, I'm in such a better mood today than I was last week. I appreciate. I missed you guys. I did. I missed doing this, but it just wasn't in the cards. I do need to. I have some things I needed, little things, LED lighting strips, stuff like that I want to do. I don't like where I have, and I don't have a camera angle that shows it. Well, here, let's do this real time. Fire up my cell phone app. All right, let's see. There it is. All right, forgive the camera shake. All right, so right there, you see my big buck hunter and my time crisis. They're kind of wedged in, or well, big buck hunter is not so much of a problem, but the time crisis is there's not a lot of room to stand back and fire. So that's why I want to rearrange at least this part of this section. The reason why these things are against the wall is because they're tall. And if I put them in the middle here, they would block out my artwork in the back. And that's bad. That's a bad camera angle for doing live streams. So I do want to do something better for those two gun games at the very least. I do have the Glenn's FU coming. That's going to go like basically right here, where the Donkey Kong is. So, yeah. But if I walk around, yeah, I've got an empty spot here for a cabinet. So I kind of want to do a little rearranging to fill up space. And I also want to have room that I can play the gun games better. Again, they're against the wall because they're so tall. I feel like tall cabinets should be against the wall. All right. Turn that off. Jay Pace is here. Good to see you. Can I just take a little time here to say I really appreciate all of you guys saying nice things about me in other streams. Yesterday, I obviously didn't have the audio up, so I didn't hear what Danny was saying, but I did hear it this morning, and I really appreciate all the kind words because whenever I see a subscription go up one or two, I know somebody talked about me because it doesn't go up often. So I kind of get the suspicion that I was mentioned somewhere, and I do appreciate that. I really do. I'm in this for fun. Okay. This is something that I can do on a Sunday and have fun with. I love this hobby. Maybe not as much as Danny. I'm not as enthusiastic on camera as Danny is, but I love doing this every week. So it bums me out when I'm in a bad mood, and it happens, right? Everybody gets in a bad mood. Anywho, we're almost to an hour. We got about 10 minutes. Hockey Town, yes, I do. My X Arcade is off in the corner over here. You can't really see it. Yeah, you can't really see it. I don't have a camera aimed at it. I need more cameras. I don't think I have the bus space on my laptop to house any more cameras. Because with OBX, you kind of run into problems with multicam setups that if you put too many cameras, especially Logitech cameras on the same bus, they don't play well, I've found. And it took some experimenting to get to the 4-camera setup that I have now. So Mike Hawker says he's got a G.I. Joe Donkey Kong on the way. I really want one now too. So when he opens up pre-orders again, that's probably going to be where my home arcade money goes. Rather than, well, depends on when the Miss Pac-Man comes out too. I do want that Miss Pac-Man. So Connell says, by the way, welcome. Connell says he's got his buy stuff Star Wars. I'm intrigued to buy that. I don't want to say I'm on the fence 50-50. I'm more like 30-70 right now, leaning towards not getting it. Because I don't want to hack away at you can see the Star Wars right there. It's a first gen Arcade1Up Star Wars cabinet. And I'm like, I don't really want to mod that. I kind of want to leave it. So, but I am intrigued by it. And so I'm waffling a little bit. B Kirby made an interesting comment. He says that Danny probably shouldn't have sold all of his XLs. Well, he didn't word it that way. It's going to take Danny a couple years to get all the XLs to replace the deluxe cabs he sold. Yeah, he did jump the gun. I think he's quick to move on things, and yeah, if I were him, I would have just sat on everything until the XLs were ready to hit the street, and then as an XL came out, and as you bought that XL, then you sell. I did get his Centipede though, so I was happy about that. And yes, he did autograph it. Let's see. Akitan says I can't buy a second GI Joe cab before he gets his first. Well, I've always told GI Joe, get to mine when you get to mine. I'm take care of everybody else first. I think I was one of the last people to get this Donkey Kong right here. So, and by the way, I know Stock Jock's going to ask me. What's running on here now is not the image that I'm going to use, and I'm still working on it, Stock Jock. I apologize. I consider myself smart when it comes to IT, but Emulation Station and RetroArch are like my arch enemies. Something hasn't ticked in my brain yet on how to navigate around the innards of those products. So I'm working on it. It's just a simple image. It's not complicated or anything. I'm just changing artwork around. I'm trying to do a GI Joe custom artwork for it. So the menu comes up and you see GI Joe Gaming Cabinets logo on the bottom, and then you have a game selection screen of the very basic games. So I'm working on it. Stock Jock, I promise, you'll be my beta tester. Again, just a basic build of RetroPie, Emulation Station, with just very basic artwork. ROMs will have to come from you. I don't know where you get them. That's up to you. But so for now, I'm functioning with the image I have on here now. Now, Connell says playing Star Wars Trilogy on the cab makes it worth it. So I'm intrigued. I wonder if Danny went to Sam's Club today to get his WrestleFest. He was talking about that yesterday on his live stream. He was supposed to have some sort of celebration today, and I don't know if I'm supposed to talk about that. I did get a message from them inviting me to a get together, but I just have so much going on today, plus the Daytona 500, and I'm not in the mood to drive an hour to Danny's house today. And I do apologize. That's one of the reasons why I contributed to his stream yesterday. I felt bad, so I chipped in for his birthday. But happy birthday, Danny, from me to you. You're a young 40 now. You've got a couple of decades to go to catch up to me, but don't rush it. Okay. Somebody said in his chat yesterday that 50 will be there before you know it, or something to those words to those effect. Probably one of you guys that are here with me now. As I get older, I discovered that time moves quickly. That's one of the reasons I decided to retire now. I want life to slow down. I'm tired of living day to day and feeling like it's Friday, but Monday it felt like hours ago. That's how fast life moves when you get older and you're working. So I'm really looking forward to retirement, slowing down, taking a breath, hitting the beach, soaking it all in, and then having fun with all these. Yes, I plan to bring every single cabinet behind me to Florida. So I'm sure that was a question somebody had. Everything you see in the quarter deck arcade here, I plan on getting a place big enough that I can have a quarter deck arcade in Florida. So that should be some good content. filming me packing all of this shit up, loading it onto a trailer, and carting it down to Florida. Kind of like some of those videos you see from 19K Fox. I'm sorry, Stock Jock. I really am. I just, like I just said, time moves quickly, and I don't have much time during the day. I've talked about it here before. My schedule, what my schedule's like, it's just crazy. If I'm doing it, I'm kind of taking time away from work, and I don't do that. When I'm supposed to be working from home, I'm in the home office at my work desk. That's it. I don't do anything else. So yeah, time does move faster when you get older. It seems like yesterday I just turned 50. Guys, 10 years ago is when I set that goal to lose 50 pounds before I turned 50. I was actually 49 because I wanted to hit 50-pound weight loss before I hit 50. Didn't quite make it. It came maybe 2 or 3 months after my birthday is when I hit that goal, but I did hit it. It just wasn't up by my birthday. And um, yeah, it just seems like it was yesterday. So, and of course, some of you know that the following year I was diagnosed with stage 1 cancer. So I went through that. All seems like it was just yesterday. And 2 weeks from now, I'm going to undergo my 3-year colonoscopy check. I've had so many colonoscopies in the last 10 years, guys. The year after my colon cancer surgery, I had to go through a series of colonoscopies, like 4 in 2 months. So I wouldn't recommend that to anybody, but I do recommend you get your colon checked. If you're at the age or if you've got a family history of colon cancer, get it checked. Because we all saw, who's the actor? James Vanderbeek just died last week. 48 years old, young. The age now is 45. If you're 45, get checked. I will preach that to the day I die. It saved my life. I'm pretty sure. BMCA, that's a fascinating question you ask. Will life have as much meaning when you leave the home you are in now? Ooh, deep question. Yes. Vic Vicious knows, you guys know, I'm a Navy veteran. One of the first things you learn in the Navy is home is where you hang your hat. Wisconsin is not my home. Never has been, really. I've lived here for 35 years now. So, but I still don't consider it my home. Home is where you hang your hat. So when I move to Florida, I'll be hanging my hat there. And so that will be my home. So that's how I think of it. I'm so proud to hear folks in the chat have gotten their colonoscopies. Thank you. I'm so proud of you. Time flies. Time does fly, B. Kirby. I could have early retired at 55. My employer is very generous with retirement, I believe, and I could have. I just didn't want to. And as I later found out, it would have been a bad thing for me. So I'm glad I didn't do it. I hung in there. But I did warn my teammates last week because I said, okay, there's 2 years between now and when I leave. You all got to start learning the shit that I do, okay? Because I'm unique in my department. I'm the Linux administrator, I'm the identity manager, and none of them take care of that. So there's not much cross training going on right now, but there will be in the next 2 years because they have to. I said to my boss, I said, it's either that or you got to bring somebody in with identity management and Linux experience. For some reason, we only hire now people at my job to work with Microsoft Windows products. And to me, Linux is a superior operating system, but what do I know? I'm pretty sure I said James. If I didn't, it was probably signs of Alzheimer's creeping in. All right, folks, we're at an hour now, so I'm going to call it. I appreciate you guys spending some time with me this morning. We'll do something next week, okay? If it's not a GRS Build-A-Cade, it'll be something involving the arcade. I'll come up with something that will do fun. I kind of consider myself the Mr. Rogers of the home arcade community now. I'm more like a show and tell type person live. I like to have fun with that. So, and as some folks commented yesterday, it's worth the price of admission just to hear me cuss. So, it is what it is. I'm a sailor. What are you going to do? So things aggravate me, and I tend to be vocal about it when I'm aggravated. So I'll come up with something. We'll do something fun next weekend. And oh my God, now I'm starting to see the chat. Restream is now starting to show me the chat. It's now literally as I'm ending the stream, Restream is now showing me the chat. Here, I'll pull it up. Obviously got to wait for something to come in. Well, maybe that part's not working. If I had money, you know, I don't want to smash. I don't want to smash a cab just for the clicks. I saw a video when I first started out in this hobby. I saw a video of a guy that had a Galaga cabinet and he lit it on fire. You guys, some of you guys might have seen that video. I got to find that. The dude lit the Arcade1Up Galaga on fire. It was a Gen 1 version of arcade of Galaga, I think. Well, anyway, it's a great day. It's a beautiful day. I'm going to spend it with my butt planted in my chair with a cousin sub and some chips. And so I'll see you guys next week, right? As I always say, have a great week, a fun week. Stay safe out there, okay? Drive safely wherever you're going to and from. And because I want to see you all here next weekend. And until that time, always remember, I got next.